Mr. Di Maio, welcome to our program.
Grazie.
Thank you.
So you won. You got the no that you wanted in this referendum, and Mr. Renzi, the Prime Minister, has resigned. What do you think has to happen next?
Now, this is the time to have elections as soon as possible in Italy. We want political elections as soon as possible and do it very, very quickly.
Everybody talks about you as a potential five-star prime ministerial candidate. But can I ask you, already your five-star officials who've been elected have not had a great run. I was able to interview, as her first international interview, the mayor of Rome, Virginia Raggi. And since then, she has had a huge amount of trouble. Are you up to being prime minister? Can your party actually govern, or is it a protest party?
Why have they had problems in Rome? What has happened? It's the political parties that have been creating obstacles and creating hurdles that have to be overcome. Perhaps we didn't expect to find a city like Rome where things weren't working properly. But this is also valid for the government. Who wants to govern the country? You are asking, will we be able to change Italy? Certainly, we will have a government where our hands will be free, we'll be able to work. Renzi's government, there was money from the Etruria Bank, but we know very well who used to finance Mr. Renzi and who he was really governing for.
Can I ask you finally a very important question? And as you know, it's about fake news, which has been a real problem in the last several elections and in the last several years. There are accusations against the five-star movement that it is perpetrating and sending around fake news, including stuff that appears in Russia. I know you have denied it, but I want you to specifically address these issues in the newspapers. For instance, one of your sites recently had a video that had been on Russia Today, which allegedly showed people, you said, protesting against Matteo Renzi and the referendum. In fact, it turns out that they were supporting him and his reform. And then another one, which Mr. Grillo himself posted recently in a piazza in Naples, suggesting the crowds had come to protest Mr. Renzi, and in fact it turned out it was a picture of a large audience gathered to hear Pope Francis. There's a problem there, Mr. Di Maio, isn't there?
When you use social network, there may be errors, but the accusation to have cyber attacks in our movement, five-star movement, and that there's fake news online, that is really has no foundations. Today, five-star movement, we warn people to be careful, and I have read myself many fake websites and news, but it's the old political parties who are doing this. It's the state TV, private TV, and they often try to do this.
Just to finally wrap this up, Mr. Di Maio, are you going to take this seriously in your party and advise even your party leader, Mr. Grillo, to stop retweeting or posting fake news sites? In other words, to pay much more attention to this, because the one I mentioned was posted by Mr. Beppe Grillo himself.
There's no need to advise Mr. Grillo. We're very aware and careful about the media. We are leader when it comes to social media. We are leaders there. We know what we're doing. We know how to manage this, and we have strategies. If there have been errors, we apologize, but absolutely it's not intended and it's not part of our policy or our structure, as newspapers have said.
Luigi Di Maio, thank you very much indeed for joining us from Rome tonight.
Grazie a lei. Arrivederci.